All right, here we go. In a busy living room, I hope I can get any of this out. Okay, so I don't know if you, some people just watch video or listen to videos, they don't watch. But at 4:41, I did hold up my Merriam-Webster here because I looked up doctrine, and I was actually reading the definition. So I look at Wikipedia too, but I'd rather go by their definition of it. And you said, hoping that I took their doctrines to heart. Um, okay, that's one piece of business to get out of the way. I misunderstood you. That's fine. I understand how that happens. Responsibility, blah, 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 blah. Moral virtue. Okay, here's one. The whole point of religion is to train us in moral virtues so that we may know and act justly. Well, Abdu'l-Baha says that, but I don't think that other religions would necessarily say so. In fact, I think they would keep out of that to a certain degree. Okay. Without such behavior and community model of such behavior, civilization, quite frankly, is doomed. Let me say this again. Without justice, civilization isn't going to be able to solve its increasingly severe problems. Um, and I've talked about this one before, the best beloved in my sight is justice. I have a huge, do not even get me into, it's just a black hole, I'll argue forever. I find that cruel and evil. Okay, so I'll just, that's all I can go with there. The OC hasn't proven itself over the course of 2 millennia to be able to offer such a refuge to humanity. Not sure why you say refuge to humanity. Except, I mean, that just echoes Baha'i stuff, so I don't know if that's, like, what it's supposed to be doing. I don't necessarily think exactly. I mean, I know part of it is that it's a repository, but I'm not sure if, like, what you're describing as the idea of what they need to do as a church is exactly, yeah. Thank you for the compliment. Moral virtue. No, absolutely. And, no, that has nothing to do with that. The problem, though, I think I see it as that attempting from the outside to gain a virtue just by learning about it, say, for instance, or practicing it, the 18 plus years that I did that, it served to be no more. Okay, have you ever, there was this ridiculous email going around about how, oh, maybe I won't even do that one. It felt disingenuous. Okay, there you go. That's what it felt like for me to do that as a Baha'i. Okay. As a Christian, no, it's an overflowing, effervescent. Um, it's a different. I can't even to describe to you like what the virtues are, what they feel like, or these things. I couldn't even bring to you words to describe them because they are expressed in so many different ways. Um, so many myriad of expressions that to even define it, I mean, yes, I can say some of them just because they're attributes or whatever, but it surprises me how vast and varied that they are. Okay. Despite the fact that it can't serve as an instrument for justice on a planetary level. Despite the fact that the Orthodox Church can't serve as an instrument for justice on a planetary level, I hope that you take its doctrines to heart. Okay. Da 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 da. And it does become an instrument for justice in your life personally. Well, I don't think that there's going to be any justice that I experience there. But what I do experience there does absolutely change my heart. And it, what could I say? You know, when you talk about it like serving as an instrument of justice on a planetary level, um, I, I mean, it reminds me of things that I used to read when I was reading like Hindu stuff. Um, I, I think we're just talking about two very different um, responsibilities. And so when I look at, you know, what you're talking about and remembering, you know, what was being asked from serving, you know, to serve humankind from the Baha'i faith as far as how that goes, I think that's more in line with that than what a church is or what it's for. So I think I'll just say that. By revelation, I don't mean the book of Revelation. Okay, so that was good. Thank you. The revealed word of God. Okay. I'm just going to skip that. The reason I stated it in that way, because Aristotle's approach is secular. I still probably wouldn't want to read it. Unless there's something very specific that you want me to get out of it, just tell me what that is and I'll read it for that. But just on my own, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I have to be reading for some reason. Otherwise, the ideas are less to stick in my head, less apt to stick in my head. To train myself in the moral habits of virtue. Well, they're already there. There's no training. Are you? I, like, oh, it's so hard to think of words to say this. I can't think of. Oh, I know. I hope this works for you. Music. Okay. You said a metronome. There are people who, once they hear the metronome, they no longer need it and they can just tap their foot. But then there are certain portions of the music where it's so complex that if they don't have that metered beat, that they'll get off, you know, into syncopation or just be completely, the rhythm is off. When you get to a certain level, yes, you can use it. I mean, it depends upon what kind of instrument you're playing, but yes, you still can use it, but you don't use it when you're performing. And to me, that's what that would be. And that's why it always felt like coming from the outside in, disingenuous. Okay. And that was just my own personal experience with it, which is why I didn't stay behind. So I'd be reading learned blah, blah, blah. Okay. As a precise definition. I don't know about the Orthodox Church, but in Catholicism, okay, 4 virtues are blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and then something about Aquinas and yeah, I wouldn't want to confine it to that, just 4 or whatever. I don't know if the Orthodox Church teaches that. There's something, I think I think there's something I remember reading in a prayer book about the fruits of the Spirit or something, but I don't think that it's quite the same as that. And for some reason, I don't think those are synonymous. And I think I might try to link what those are in the underbar just for fun. God's grace reach you. Thank you very much. Spiritual beliefs can also be grasped onto as if they were material possessions. I know what you're saying, and then you talk about the Rinpoche. I truly see it from a completely different point of view. I don't think I've ever seen it from that point of view, but it's interesting to peek at it from the vantage point by you offering that idea. I think what happens, though, when I look at it that way, is that it changes what it is, kind of like, you know, gold-filled jewelry, or, you know, I mean, it's like it's not quite all together and the same, and it isn't quite worth as much. To me, it cheapens it, I guess you could say. That's just, but remember, this is the first time I've ever seen that, and I'm just trying to, you know, see it from your perspective, and that's what's first, you know, coming to mind looking at it from that way. Both Baha'u'llah and Muhammad and the earlier surahs of the Quran speak elegantly of this phenomenon and the way it psychologically impacts human beings. Um, yeah, I wonder if you did take a peek at those videos that I said were regarding Muhammad, because yeah, he's pretty non-negotiable deal breaker with me. So I wouldn't really take anything, I mean, in a literary sense, like of poetry, maybe. I mean, but and as far as Baha'u'llah being after him, yeah, I can't accept him because I can't accept him. So, and a lot of Baha'u'llah's words I still think of as beautiful Persian poetry. I mean, I think I loved Rumi first, and so, um, you know, it was really easy to read Baha'u'llah because, you know, and I mean, that so many people grow up listening to like Khalil Gibran stuff or reading it, that it was very tangible to me. Um, uh, but I'm still I'm gonna get tripped up on Muhammad all the time, every time. Um, I really will. Uh, it's that much of a deal breaker. So that's where I am with that, I think. Um, I would like to hear back what you think about the videos, just the information. Um, you know, why is it not a deal breaker for you? Or um, there was something else about something that you said. Maybe I'll remember later and try to put it in the comments. But I do genuinely appreciate all these comments, and I take to heart your kind blessing and prayers. And I do wish you peace too.